No one in this damn town even noticed Daniel. He was just a scrawny kid with shoes that looked like they'd been through a war, living in a rickety little tin-roofed shack that was practically a glorified birdhouse near the edge of the fields. His parents had kicked the bucket when he was just a wee lad, and since then, life had thrown him lessons that would make even the toughest adults cringe. Most mornings Daniel woke up with a stomach that felt like a black hole. Most nights he crashed into bed utterly exhausted, as if he'd run a marathon. And most days people strolled right past him as if he were a damn ghost. He hustled wherever he could, cleaning up yards, hauling boxes like a pack mule, mending broken fences. Some days he scraped together a handful of coins. Other days he got nothing but the sound of crickets chirping. But still, every single night before drifting off to sleep, Daniel would whisper into the darkness, "God, I don't need much. Just please don't let my heart turn into a cold, bitter rock. And for the love of everything holy, don't forget about me." One evening, after busting his butt for hours working for a shop owner, Daniel was handed a tiny paper bag of food, bread, an apple, a smidgen of rice. To someone else, it was a measly snack. To him, it was the key to survival, baby. As he made his way home, a gang of teenagers suddenly blocked his path like a damn wall of chaos. They laughed, made fun of his tattered clothes, and kicked the precious bag right out of his hands. Food scattered across the dirt like confetti at a bad party. In that moment, something shattered inside Daniel's chest. Not anger, but this heavy, suffocating shame. He bent down, scrambling to pick up what he could, tears welling up as he whispered, "God, am I invisible to you?" He chose not to throw down and fight back. Near the river, under the fading glow of the sun, Daniel spotted an old man sitting all alone on a bench, his hands trembling like leaves in a storm. His voice was weak, but his request was strong. "Son," the man said gently, "would you share just a little food? I haven't eaten today." Daniel glanced at his nearly empty bag. It felt like a battle between fear and faith. For a split second, fear screamed louder than anything else. But then he remembered something his mother used to say: "Kindness is never wasted." And in that moment, he chose to believe it. With a dramatic flourish, Daniel gingerly selected the absolute finest piece of bread, brushing off the dirt like it was nothing, and handed it over to the old man. The old man beamed. Oh, what a profoundly peaceful smile that was, and savored each bite as if it were the last morsel on earth. "Thank you," he said, his voice dripping with gratitude. "You've got a heart of gold, my friend." As they strolled along the riverbank, the atmosphere shifted. It felt like a warm embrace, safe and serene, almost like a scene from a fairy tale. Then, out of nowhere, the man came to a halt. "Daniel," he said, his voice soft and gentle, "do you have any clue who walked with you today?" Daniel shook his head, confusion etched across his face. "Just a tired old man, I guess." But the man's eyes suddenly sparkled with an otherworldly glow. Soft, golden, and undeniably alive. "I was right there with you when you wept yourself to sleep. I heard every single prayer you whispered into the void when it felt like no one was listening. I witnessed every act of kindness you thought went completely unnoticed." Daniel's breath hitched in his throat. "I prayed to God," he murmured, almost in disbelief. The man's smile widened, radiating warmth. "And guess what? God was walking right alongside you." Daniel collapsed to his knees, trembling like a leaf in a storm. "I thought you had forgotten me," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I never did," God replied softly, with a tenderness that could melt the hardest of hearts. "You chose love when life was throwing curveballs, and today, you gave when you had practically nothing left to give." God reached out and touched the bag. Suddenly, it felt like it weighed a ton. Inside were fresh bread, succulent fruit, warm food, more than Daniel had ever dreamed of carrying in his life. "What you give with love," God said, "always comes back to you multiplied, like a wildflower blooming after a storm. From that moment on, Daniel's life began a magnificent transformation. Kind souls appeared from every corner. Opportunities knocked like a relentless drum. He learned new skills and worked with integrity. Life was still a roller coaster, but his heart was no longer an empty void. Every time he passed that river, he remembered this profound truth. God often shows up in the most unexpected ways. Through a stranger, through a choice, through kindness, and this story is just as much for you. If you feel invisible, if you feel like you've been cast aside, if you keep giving while life keeps taking, remember this: God sees you. Your kindness is a treasure, and no good heart is ever overlooked. Sometimes the miracle you're waiting for is already walking right beside you, just waiting for you to notice.